So how about that? The Bulls finally get their first NBA Cup win after getting swept in the inaugural in-season tournament last year, rebranded to the new NBA Cup this year. They lost their first matchup against the Cavs, which was actually a much closer game than the score would have otherwise indicated, since for some reason Billy Donovan took his starters out at the end of the game when it was over and the Cavs just ran up the score for point differential purposes. And it sucked to be on that end where the team is just running up the score against you like that in a ridiculous game like we saw last year against the Celtics when they were up by 30 points, and they were just intentionally fouling Andre Drummond so they could bring the score up by as much as possible to get them to the knockout round. Tonight, it felt pretty good for the Bulls being on the other side trying to run up the score at the game they had already won. They didn't really do it that well, considering they missed some easy shots that weren't being defended and let the Hawks score on the other end, but whatever, I'll take the win. That's what matters when it comes to the record, and now look at that. The Bulls might actually have a shot to get out of the group stage of the NBA Cup. I might have to follow the standings in the stage this year, since last year they were just getting killed in every game and there was really no point to it. They've got the Wizards on the 26th in Washington, and then the hardest one, the Boston Celtics, on the 29th. It's most likely going to be the Cavs and the Celtics making it out of the group stage, but you never know. Maybe the Bulls can actually knock off the Celtics and move on. We'll see. But anyway, going back to this game, I mean, it would be nice for the Bulls to just always face off against the Atlanta Hawks. They just have this team's number, and the pace of play when these two teams face off just enables the Bulls to thrive, because like the Bulls, the Hawks are also terrible on defense. And because the Hawks oftentimes aren't as buttoned up when it comes to their ball movement, they become susceptible to turnovers, which makes the Bulls defense look much better than it actually is. Actually, I take that back. I say that, but then I'm looking at the box score right now, and the Bulls had 19 turnovers to the Hawks 11. I guess it just seemed like it because it felt like the Bulls were getting steals and fast break points left and right. They had 8 steals in this game as a team and 27 fast break points compared to the Hawks 12. And then, of course, obviously, the key difference maker, which has been the difference maker for the Bulls all season and living and dying by the three, but the Bulls shot the ball significantly better than the Hawks did from deep, going 19 for 43 from 3 at 44%, while the Hawks shot 10 for 34. Overall, the Bulls shot 57% from the field, while the Hawks were at 45%. This game was great for a number of reasons, but the biggest one by far was the bounce back game from Josh Giddey. Giddey needed a game like this after what we've seen from him over the past week or so. And like I talked about it before, just seeing his body language and demeanor out there and how much his confidence has been shot, you needed him to have a game like this to regain that confidence and not get so much into his head, stop worrying about his upcoming contract, what other people are saying, and just hoop. This was probably Giddey's best game of the season thus far. He's had a few good ones here and there as well, but he was the most impactful in this game, finishing the night with a team high plus 19 on the night, and he remained in the game to close it out. Giddey finally finished at the rim well in this one. Like I talked about before, I just cannot fathom how bad Giddey has been at missing point-blank layups or those weird little floaters around the basket that just clanks off the rim. Tonight, he finished with 18 points, 8 for 10 from the floor. His only misses were from behind the arc, made everything inside. And he also finished with 8 assists and 6 rebounds while also limiting his turnovers despite his usage in this game. So we'll see if that can get Giddey back on track over a pretty bad month of November thus far. We also saw a much better game for Nikola Vucevic compared to the one we saw against the Bucks, so hopefully that trade value still remains there. Check out my video from earlier today where I talked about some mock trade options for Vucevic that the Bulls should pursue. But Vuce, who somehow has actually been playing well against Clint Capella, a guy that he's normally struggled against in the past because Capella is a solid rim protector and one of the better offensive rebounders of the game, but tonight, another cool and easy double-double, 18 points, 13 rebounds, 4 blocks in this game. I was not expecting that, especially against a faster-paced Atlanta Hawks offense. So a good game for Vucevic. And then Coby White, well, he was pretty cold most of this game with his shooting. He did start knocking down shots in the fourth quarter to close this one out. And while overall he didn't have an efficient scoring night where he went 6 for 16 and 3 for 12 from 3, he actually ended the night as a plus 18 with a team high 9 assists to go along with 6 rebounds and 2 steals while also 0 turnovers. So even though his scoring wasn't where we're used to seeing it, with him missing that many threes especially, he was impacting the game in other ways. Also, Ayo getting the start tonight in place of Patrick Williams instead of Torrey Craig. I like seeing that. It's a small ball lineup, but it worked out against the Hawks, and Io killed it in his start tonight, putting up 20 points on 8 for 10 shooting, 2 for 3 from deep, 8 assists, and 2 steals. He actually played more minutes than anybody else tonight with 38 minutes in total. And then Zach Lavine still on that revenge tour to show that he still got it. 26 points, 11 for 18, 4 for 8 from 3. Some of the shots and finishes that he's had at the rim have just been mesmerizing. It's been great to see Zach back fully healthy and playing at a high level. He did have 6 turnovers tonight though, which has kind of been Zach's biggest struggle and outlier this season, is how susceptible he's been to turning the ball over. But outside of that, he had a really solid game. And then Buzelis, my boy, been ranting about how Billy Donovan hasn't been giving him enough playing time, especially with Pat being out, and annoyed that Torrey Craig was getting priority minutes over him. But Modest tonight took minutes away from Craig as Billy felt comfortable in leaving him in for an extended period of time. 20 minutes, he was aggressive, he was active on defense, made some mistakes, don't get me wrong, but that's why you play him, so he can learn from those mistakes. Was a little too ambitious at times on defense and got himself into foul trouble, turned the ball over, being a little too eager with the ball on offense, but hey, I will take it. I will take the confidence, the energy, and the aggression any day. And he did play well overall. 9 points, 4 rebounds, another poster dunk, 2 blocks and a steal. I need more Modest minutes, guys. While Pat is out, I need to see more of this. We don't need to see Torrey Craig getting starter minutes, okay? Jalen Smith was on fire tonight as well. 4 threes, 13 points, 5 rebounds. And then Dalen Terry, I continue to be impressed with his improved play and his grit on defense, which has been getting him more minutes because the Bulls absolutely need defense. But more so also is his improved play on offense. He's been taking better shots, being more patient with the ball, and making the right plays. Great to see Dalen have a solid game coming off the bench, putting up 12 points, 4 assists, got to the free throw line 6 times as well and made all 6. That was a surprise. Anyway, a good all-around game for the Bulls, a great win. Maybe not for tanking fans, but I liked it. A fun, high-paced, action-filled game, and the Bulls are right back at it tomorrow at the UC to see Memphis for the second and last time this season. That's going to be a tough one. We'll see how the Bulls respond in the second night of a back-to-back. Until then, guys, as always, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.